Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to walk you through the segments feature in the Analyze app, how to set them up, as well as how to view them in the dashboard. So segments are basically a way to pull different sections of the site or different URL paths into its own dashboard and an easy way to filter to different reports to really focus on the pages you want to see. So the first thing to do to set them up, you would come into step 4 of the crawl setup or settings, and you'll see this My Segments button here. So once you're in here, it'll show all of the segments that are already set up, or you can simply create a new one by choosing Create Segment over here. To do this, first you name it whatever you want. So in this case, we'll do blog because we're going to pull the blog pages out. And then you can see the segment rules. So the most commonly used one is URL contains or does not contain. In this case, we'll put /blog, so it'll pull all pages with /blog in the URL out. There are plenty of other choices you can use as well. But again, URL contains and does not contain is the most common. You can also do an and rule. So if you wanted, for example, blog and product pages, you can do and URL contains /product as well. So any page that would have both of those would be pulled. Or if you simply wanted both blog and both product pages, you could do /blog or /product and it would pull either option. Once everything's created in here, you can also preview segment. So what this does is it'll pull up to 50 URLs and let you know how many would be pulled into the next crawl based on the most recent crawl data that we have. So you can look through to see which pages will populate to make sure that whatever rule you have in place is what you're looking for. Once you're done with everything and you think it's correct, you can hit create segment there and it'll populate on the list. And one thing to note that whenever you create a segment, it won't pull into previous data. You'll have to kick off another crawl after it's created to have that segment available in the dashboard. Another cool feature we have with it is, say you're in this project, you're like, I like all of these segments that I had already created, but I don't want to manually go in and add them to another project. So what you can do is choose all of them, or if you're like, okay, I like all of them, but these two, I don't want these two in there, you can uncheck those boxes and hit bulk copy into a project. Once you're in here, it'll show all of the segments that will be moved over, and you can simply click this drop-down menu here to find all of the projects that are in your account, and you can choose which one you want to put them into. From there, we can go into the dashboard to actually see these segments in place. So there are multiple ways to view them in different reports. One of the first and easiest ways is right in this drop-down menu. So all of the segments that are created will be listed, and we'll just stick with blog. So once you choose the segment that you want, it'll change the dashboard and populate everything that you see here specifically to those pages. So the health scores here are for blog. The health score errors are for blog. And scrolling down to the funnel is for blog, and all of these reports that you see are specific to those blog pages. Now, another thing you can do if you go back to all URLs up here is once you go to specific reports, you can click into them. So say we want to do the broken pages. It'll show just the broken pages for every page that we have in the crawl. And then you can scroll down here, and it'll show top segments for those broken pages as well. So you can see blog and this and that are the most common segment in this report. So these both have 231 errors. So say you're like, okay, what are these blog errors in this report? You click in here, and it'll automatically filter this report to just the blog pages. And you scroll down here, and it'll filter to them there. So that is how to set up a segment and how to really pull and change each report and dashboard into the segment that you would like. So hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully you'll be able to go in and use the segment, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.